Honourable Member Lowabek.
Thank you, Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I think my question, without notice, goes to our good Prime Minister. Before I do, let me give some context to my question. In a statement released last Friday, Mr. Speaker, the Commissioner General of the Internal Revenue Commission revealed a very disturbing trend. Multinational corporations operating in Papua New Guinea's resource sector, Mr. Speaker, particularly in the mining and petroleum sector, are exploiting loopholes and weaknesses in our tax and investment laws to maximize profits while contributing little or nothing to the national coffers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Ramu NiCo, for instance, has extracted rare minerals from our land for almost 20 years without paying a single kina in corporate income tax, thanks to the overlapping tax concessions we as a government have given them. PNG LNG project participants, after already enjoying a 10-year capital recovery period, are now extending this tax holiday by another 5 years, raising serious questions about the effectiveness of our fiscal regimes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, further, the IRC has disclosed in an earlier media release that 5 of the most profitable large-scale mines have not paid a single dividend to shareholders in over a decade, suggesting that creative accounting and profit-sharing tactics are being used to suppress taxable profits. Mr. Speaker, if I'm correct, only recently has Porgera begun paying dividends, and that too only after dividend withholding tax was exempted in the new Porgera agreement, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this comes at a time when our extractive resources, which are finite and non-renewable, are being depleted with little long-term national return, Mr. Speaker. Yet individuals closely tied to the original LNG agreements now widely criticized for being overly generous to investors, are once again being appointed to head major negotiations on behalf of the state. These, Mr. Speaker, are traitors. Traitors are being appointed again to these positions, Mr. Speaker, including chairing the negotiating team, the state negotiating team, and the National Oil and Gas Company board members. Mr. Speaker, to add insult to injury, last week the Prime Minister, or the Queen, awarded a medal to a key figure behind the failed Nautilus deep sea mining project, a venture that cost the state almost 300 million and delivered nothing with no proper agreements or due diligence in place, got recognized by the Queen and being recommended by us here in Parliament. Mr. Speaker, in no other country in the world do they honor thieves and traitors. Only in the Christian nation of Papua New Guinea do we honor those people, those kind of people. Mr. Speaker, when the Prime Minister assumed office in 2019, he made bold commitments to reclaim resource sovereignty, to reform resource laws by 2025, and to shift from profit-based taxation to production sharing agreements. That was the basis of all of us joining him to form the new government there and then. We are now in 2025, yet the reforms have not materialized, and the same group of characters are being recycled in charge of our resources. Questions, Mr. Speaker. My questions to the good Prime Minister: where is the long-promised resource law reform? Can the Prime Minister inform this House and the people of Papua New Guinea why the resource ownership reforms and the shift to production sharing agreements promised for 2025 will be delivered? Number one. Number two, who is really benefiting from our resources, Mr. Speaker? Can the Prime Minister confirm whether the current fiscal regime still allows multinational resource companies to avoid paying taxes through extended capital cost deductions, tax holidays, and creative accounting? Number three, why are the same people back in charge, Mr. Speaker? These people are traitors. Mr. Speaker, these people are the people who side with giant corporations and who sell our resources and our future. Why are they back in charge, Mr. Speaker? The Prime Minister should tell the people of PNG. Number four, what process was followed in appointing the S&T chair? Can the Prime Minister tell this House whether the position of the chair of the state negotiating team was advertised, what selection criteria was used, and how much public money is being paid for this work. Number 5, where is the due diligence? What background checks of due diligence that the Prime Minister's office undertake before appointing individuals to high stake roles where the interests of the state must be defended against multinational corporations? Number 6, as the Prime Minister shifted sides, how does the Prime Minister reconcile his 2019 stance on resource nationalism with recent appointments and apparent continuation of investor-friendly tax regimes that deprive PNG of much-needed resources? Mr. Speaker, with that particular mention of the PNG LNG project, you know, before me, Blarem was by this year or next year, we will be getting the full proceeds from PNG LNG project. Now we hear that there's another 5-year delay. Now, you know, they're stealing from our future. We have people dying on the streets. We have lack of employment. We hear that, GDP doubled, or, the tax revenue doubled by, 100%, and yet there are no jobs. Mr. Speaker, what lessons were learned from Nautilus? Why was the medal awarded to an individual associated with a failed Nautilus Minerals project which cost the country 300 million kina without any return? What message does this send to the citizens or future investors? Do we honor traitors? Number 8, with the same characters involved, are the same term sheets being recycled? Are we looking at the same term sheets? Number 9, what fiscal repair mechanisms are in place? What concrete fiscal and legal measures is the government taking to plug tax avoidance and ensure that resource companies actually contribute to the national economy? Number 10, Mr. Speaker, when will resource exploitation end without returns? Now you may Ramu NiCo too. I'm like making nuclear extensions, or I'm needing another, tax concession, tax exemption for another 5 years. Please, you mean no longer. This is our country. We need to be patriotic, and we need to tell these people to start paying. They're extracting resources, and those resources will never be renewed, Mr. Speaker. Thank you now. Copy of questions that we can give him the Prime Minister support. Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, question blow. Member Blowabek and me, very good, pertinent question blow. Email kada. Pass them through me like give him belly seal. I think he's number 8 question or number 7 question. Let me talk whether me shift him away from my mantra in 2019. Me like give him belly seal Ogra line. That goalpost has not been shifted. This law talk law 2019 law sends him law and it's not yet. James Marape as a person, I stand on this, and as my party, we stand on this. Before me come up, member, me first contest Lotari Pori, law 2002. Talk law me and me talk, me stand up law fight long oil, gold, and gas resource. That Papa Grand must kiss him good, provincial governments must kiss him good, country must kiss him good, investor too must kiss him good, and I want to give assurance to you, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for Wabek, to all our members of Parliament, and to our citizens, our country, and our investors, that conversation and public policy in my DNA still remains firm. 2025 is the deadline we set for resource law shift. Our 2 petroleum and mining minister, as well as our resource sector ministers, are working in a manner in which we do not offer our investors fair return on investment, as well as our people getting their fair stake. It must be equitable benefit sharing. And I want to also inform this House, I think in the interest of time, me like to summarize this question, if you can give me in writing, but me go through a reply, but in summary, all projects where you meet in our harvesting or operation in our country was secured under project development agreements before. Something that our country is also known for as an investment destination is that we don't break contracts, we don't change the goalposts in between. We don't change the goalposts in between. When the leases expire, then we enter into strong, fair, hard negotiation, as we did in Pogra. But SML 1 that was signed in 1989 expired in 2019. Then we entered into hard negotiation. We entered into hard negotiation, we failed the lease, or they applied for lease renewal. if my memory is not wrong, and I'm speaking from memory, July 29, 2017, they filed SML renewal application based on the same term sheets, 5% along provincial Papa ground, 95% along in as far as equity is concerned. Royalty, of course, it's governed, I beg your pardon, tax is governed by law, so they ask us for a 30% tax, and royalty, again, at 2%. The three main entitlements, really, for all resource project extraction is royalty, equity, and taxes. Mila give him comfort email and to our investors. This government, like the past governments before me, we will not be breaking any agreements that is running its course. But once the agreement closes, then the country is entitled to negotiate for a better or give the projects to a new investor who can give us better. Pogra project is a reflection on this government's commitment to getting back more, take back more for our country. Pogra today, Mr. Speaker, the state negotiating team, and I want to ask all of us that the state negotiating team, one of his questions on the selection of the state negotiating team. We scan who's available in our country and who can fight for the best work based on government. Remember, they operate based on government directions. If government give more clear policy directions, they go out to war, or negotiation rather, based on the principal policy directions of government. My government since 2019, our policy direction has been always win above 55% for our country. Always win above 55% for our country. So far in the work of changing the law that is taking its time, as we have to consult the industry and all stakeholders, and 2025, our 50th year, as we enter, will be the time in which we make these changes before our 51st. The investor community knows that we are in the business of securing about 55%. And that has been clear to all of them, and I make it no secret. You win some, I win some. Unfortunately, we cannot change what's happening in Lihir. There's a 1997 agreement that is running its course. Unfortunately, we cannot change Ramu NiCo, 1997 agreement that is running its course. But I want our leaders also not to be too critical of past leadership. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, or even PNG LNG when it started, we were still not yet a pronounced investment destination. I want our country also to know the same investment dollar can be shifted elsewhere. Right in our region, Indonesia is an oil and gold and gas and mineral producing nation. In our region, Australia is a gas and mineral producing country, as well as others around us. In the global pool of sourcing for foreign direct investment, those areas that we are competing with, as well as elsewhere on planet Earth. And we want to give them a healthy, competitive regime, but at the same time, without compromising our return on investment. I want to say, up till today, the investment community clearly understands what we're doing. I want to tell all of you that S&T that we are criticizing in 2019 was with me in a room. Treasurer was in that room. Governor Enga was in that room. When I told Mr. Bristoff, Barrick, you sit on 49, I sit on 51% side of equity. Deal or no deal, and I walked out of the room. If it is you at 49 and I'm at 51, we will negotiate this. If it is not, I'm sorry, no negotiation. I walk out of the negotiating room with my entire S&T. S&T takes cue from government policy. And as far as government policy is concerned, under this S&T, we've told them, get 55% total take. And I want to clarify, 55% doesn't just to equity. Equity is one stream, royalty is one stream, tax is one stream. We've asked the entire envelope harvested. At minimum, we must get at 55%. This government, right now in the absence and yet to deliver a production sharing regime that has our own characteristics, not a production sharing regime with that is a Middle East production sharing regime or elsewhere. We want to have a production sharing regime that has PNG characteristics, that give respect to indigenous people, who own land, give respect to provincial government where the resources are, and give respect to the rest of the country through the national government for national equalization benefit distribution. I want to give assurance to our country. We have not abandoned the goalposts we have set. At some of these areas where it's operating in silent, they're all governed by the existing fiscal regimes and project agreements that are running. When they expire, Lear will expire in 2035 rather. I hope whoever is Prime Minister in 2035 will not have the sleepless night I'm having today, the mining minister, because by then we would have changed the law, and the law then governs the way we are securing our projects and as far as our project envelope is concerned. But for to IRC is fully entitled. And work with IRC, the taxman is fully entitled to check all the agreements we have. And if there is any loopholes there in those agreements, and if there is any way where we are supposed to collect but we're not collecting, it is not out of line when IRC probes and asks questions as our country's taxmen. They're fully entitled to check all the governing laws we have today. Ramu NiCo to operate in the same manner, as I said earlier. I won't be too critical of past leaders who were there. 1997, global financial crisis. Lest we forget. And the Prime Minister then secured these two projects. Whilst we may not collect enough in as far as tax is concerned, to my satisfaction, I cannot complain. There's some employment being generated, landowners getting some money. I'm looking forward to the time these projects' time have lapsed. But I also want to say that at government policy insistence, these projects are showing some signs of working with the agreement, but optimizing return to us through employment or through other aspects like our downstream processing policy that we've imparted upon. And Ramu NiCo, for instance, is now working with government to look into a downstream processing of nickel in our country to value add for us. So in summary, Mr. Speaker, before project here, you make it seem below, like PNG LNG, 48%. Ramu na lead all display at 30% below Canada. Now people walk along kissing about 55%. PNG LNG, there was a question raised on PNG LNG. The last 3 years alone will pay 11 billion kina corporate tax. Lord display year only talk one blah agreement, starting of PNG LNG agreement, and talk long extended depreciation. All use him display long, talk some time give him all investors some banis long takis. Now I see he got right long check him whether I'm all talk through gaman. Misa I'm walk like RC okay. Me plan to stop him RC. You got right to check him, you check him. What this agreement entails. But again, PNG LNG too, we also speak with context. The agreement was signed in 2009 at the backdrop of 2008 global financial crisis. ExxonMobil came into our country. This one project right now, the aggregate contribution to our country in terms of revenue, cash revenue, not the employment and the spin-offs, but a cash that come back through equity, through taxes, through royalty, and all the associated income to our country has gone past 30 billion kina since then. We thank Somali government for making sure this project got off the ground. It is now a business to kick off other projects. I want to say, give assurance to the member, any project my team is negotiating is about 55%. PASCA that we signed off is at 70%, a small condensate project in Gulf. Pinyang that we signed off is at 63%. 4.4 TCF gas that will be synchronized, and we will give back 10% to the Western provincial people when we go and engage with them in as far as the negotiation of Pinyang was concerned. And so any project that we are negotiating in the absence of legislative changes, we are pushing hard to negotiate above 55%. These Papua New Guineans who are working for state instruments, if they step out of line, as we are checking on what's happening in Kumul Petroleum, we will deal with them and stock up the boards with new credible Papuans again. And we are working this. If there are any ways for improvement, I look forward to be assisted. But I want to give full assurance to the country. The goalpost of 2019, the take back PNG goalpost has not been shifted. When the laws come in by the petroleum minister and the mining minister, we want all of your support. There will be a clarified, simplified, all entitlements of the country, whether tax, equity, or royalty, planted inside. in total picture, giving us a win about 55% of any resource project we harvest in our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.